Hey, what's going on, Archons? Welcome to another episode of the Boulevard Blake YouTube channel, where this week we are taking a look at something that I am very interested in these days, which is Alliance, and Alliance sealed in this episode. So here I have two decks that I am presenting in a way that I've never played these decks before. I opened them just for this episode, and I haven't scanned them. I've done nothing of the sort. I'm just presenting it in a sealed Alliance context, and I'm actually not opening them up on camera because I want to take some time to look at things and come to some decisions. I took about maybe 20 minutes between the two decks as simulating very similar to standard sealed Alliance protocols. And now for the last 10 minutes, I just wanted to go over what I have found and my decisions. So this is how I'm presenting the decks right now, is I think maybe best practice for how you should look at how you would create your Alliance pool. Your Alliance deck from the pool available is don't look at it deck by deck, look at it by pod by pod. And that's what we have here, a set of 6 pods. Now we got 2 sets of Sanctum, which is interesting because the overlap always makes for an odd situation, because it's really you only have 5 houses to choose from, even though there's 6 pods. So the interesting thing was there was 2 pods that really stood out to me, and I was like, yep, these are definitely going to be what we go with. So here's first one is the disc. So it has Drekker, Dark Minion, Inspector, Infernus, Snarette with a capture, another Snarette, Gateway to Dis, Mark of Dis, Stirring Grave, Double Doom, and Dominator Bauble. So pretty much everything in this deck this pod, is what you would want in Dis. Like, it has a really strong Ember Control suite, has an Infernus to go with it, Inspector, so you're getting things dealt with hand, disruption, recursion, hand again, and you can use it. So this to me is a phenomenal Dis house. Like, this has all that you could possibly want. So I'm just like, wow, this has board control, this has disruption, this has Ember Control. Like, it is the bee's knees of a singular pod. The next one that really stood out was, surprise surprise, the Logos. So I mean, Daughter, 2 QMEX, Research Smoko, Odd Claude, It's Coming, yep, Diametric Charge with a Draw Pip, Lethalogica, Bouncing Deathquark, Standardized Testing, and of course Ultra Gravitron, I can't speak today, which the Stirring Grave alone made this quite appealing. Never mind everything else here. Lots of board control, the QMEX, the Standardized Testing is kind of nice depending on, and the Bouncing Deathquark for that matter, with the double QMEX depending on what is coming here. So you know what, decent stuff here. Lots of cycle, lots of efficiency. Oh my goodness, I'm just not good with words today. So that leaves us with 2 big houses, and now we have 4 to choose the last 2. And you'll see, like, I don't think you really need to see the rest to understand why these 2 are obvious choices. Like, you don't need to know what else is here to know that these are 2 really great pods. Now, because this was so straightforward in choosing these 2 pods, there's actually things that need to be considered. So how many creatures are in this pod? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures. And in this one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7's a good number. 6 is fine. What else do we got here? So what else do I need to be looking for? Ember Control. How much Ember Control do we currently have? 1. Then here we have 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a lot more Ember Control in this one, and some that repeats, although you don't have control over what you're taking, but the triple is pretty good. So and then we know there's a lot of board control between those 2 halves. So board control is not something I have to worry about. 7 creatures in the Dis, and then there's I think 6 in there. So not a small creature count either between the two. So 7 and 6. It's giving us a nice 13 number going into things right there. So now what are we looking for next? So let's see here. Here's where things get interesting. What do we choose for the third? So when we, actually, let's go for both the sanctums first, because both sanctums provide a similar, I think, situation. So first off, let's do creature count. Let's look. We got 2 Zalvadors, 3 Zalvadors, double capture pip here on the Jizzleheart Zealot, 2 Grey Riders, Baronon, VMOS Lightbringer, Commandeer, 2 Fangs of Jizzleheart, and the Jizzleheart Standard. This is basically a Jizzleheart half. So many Jizzlehearts in here. Jizzleheart for days. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 creatures in here. Some Ember Control. You have draw pips on here. You have 3 capture pips, plus 4 pips printed. So, I mean, that's pretty sexy right there. What does this Sanctum House bring? So, this one provides fully heal a creature. That could be handy. Has a capture pip, Umber Knight, Ardent Hero, a Zalvador here, Lieutenant Grovenal, some angry mobs. Ooh, Font of the Eye, Purify, and a Bringlow. Some nice scaling Ember Control there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 creatures as well. So similar creature count. The Grovenal is really nice. The Ardent Hero with the Taunt's really nice. So that's something to consider. Not as many pips. I'm going to be honest though, I already know that this is not the one that I'm interested in. And the reason being is I think what is in here, the caliber of the creature, as well as the well-roundedness of it. This one just has a lot of vanilla. The Grey Riders are really nice. Some things that make me enjoy the Grey Rider as a potential candidate for this is the fact that you can swing Q-Mix into something and get them ready for next turn. And then the obvious thing is you have Ultra Gravitron to be used within that setting. So that's really nice. Now from there, let's look into, because we're only choosing one, as those are just out of those 2. So basically what I know is that's the one I'm not interested in. So now we go over to what does Star Alliance bring to the table? So we got Commander Chan, Explore Rover, 2 Scout Peats, 2 Hadron Collisions, Red Alert, Survey, Xeno Training, Universal Translator. So the very first thing that sticks out to me here is the pip. So we got a capture pip, and then 1, 2, 3, oh, not that much, 4. But you're getting to see some cycle here, some efficiency, sorry. And on top of that, there is, you know what, a little bit of whatever. This is a whatever for me, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures. So not really too jazzed with this one. This one a little too vanilla. So that one's also out. Yeah, trying to be objective, and the truth is it's just not what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna just ignore it. So now we go into Shadows. Now what does Shadows bring? So we got an Opportunist, Borrow, Tempting Offer, Mug, Master Mindy, Reckless Rizzo, Fidget, Subtle Auto, Shoulder Id, Bonithing. Well, that's interesting. So this is going to provide artifact control. It has a lot of pips. So you got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pips just here alone. Very small creatures, but they're going to be disruptive and provide interesting things. A little bit of Ember Control. You got the Shoulder Id, Subtle Auto, Opportunist, the Borrow. So you know what? And Mugs could be really handy with your Snorettes or whatever. Maybe you throw an Opportunist on something with armor and to mug it right afterwards. There's just a lot of possibilities here. I do like the Shadows. So when it comes down to it, this is the truth. You have these 2. And honestly, I'm not sure either one is a poor choice. It's just a matter of the direction you want to go. I also think if this for some reason was in a best of 3, and the first game you realize your opponent has artifacts, you just swap over to Shadows, go with this to start with. Now one thing that could make a difference here is when we look at the Ember pips. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 7. And then plus 6. So that's 13 with this one. 8, 9, 10, 11 with this one. So again, not that far off. So really what you're trying to decide in the end here is, do you want to have the board presence that this is going to bring? Not to mention you get Gray Riders. So this is going to provide a greater board. And I think the creatures are pretty stellar creatures. You got a Commandeer as well. Fangs of Jizzleheart. These could end up just being dead cards once Graviton hits out. So that's not a good thing. Each friendly creature with Ember on it gets +1 armor. I mean, that could be good. That does help your Snorettes, which is kind of nice. To be honest, I could even see going this route here. Is the Shadows, Drekker, Salvador route. I do think this is really good, and that's where you want to go. But you technically, I think, would not be making the worst decision by throwing Shadows with this and this right here. So, yeah, this is pretty good. I'm leaning towards this just because you can get some creatures that are sticky. You got the pips, like lots of capture, draw, double Gray Rider going off potentially, Baronon, destroy each elusive creature. I don't think there's any elusive in this. You got the Commandeer for some more Ember control. It's just adding a lot of things that I really like to this scenario. I guess Daughter's elusive. And I believe there's none here. Yeah, so you're not really doing anything. So I'm going to be honest, this is the deck I'm going with. These three right here. I think this is the right play. I like the fact that this is providing a board presence you can call over and over again. This is providing basically some crazy disruption, just a toolkit, and this has the efficiency to cycle. I think the Shadows is also an option that should be considered and tested for that matter. And I may do that. Who knows if I'll do it on a video or just for the sake of testing, because I do enjoy testing right now. So this is that. That's my conclusion. This is the deck I would build. I think it's going to be a solid deck. I will post a, what's that thing called? A post. I'll post a post on my YouTube, not a video, but one of those little new posting features that they have here on YouTube now, and those newfangled posting features. So be sure to check out what this looks like in the SAS world, DOK, all that good stuff. And then I'll also show you what the Opportunist version would look like as well. Opportunist, the Shadows version. So hope you enjoyed this. And always, folks, may your Ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.